As chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee, I've been meeting for the past several weeks with the Democratic leadership and my fellow committee chairman to put together a job creation package. I'm currently co-chairing the portion of the effort that deals with creating jobs, rebuilding and improving our infrastructure, including our roads, our bridges, and our transit systems. And Senator Rockefeller and Senator Dodd are intimately involved in this portion as well as others. Senators Durbin and Dorgan are leading the effort to put together the whole package, which, as I understand it, will have 4 distinct parts to it, infrastructure being at the top of the list. I am pleased to be here today with Jack Basso, Director of Management and Program Finance for AASHTO, the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, and Art Gazzetti, Vice President for Policy at the American Public Transportation Association. I am particularly moved to have them here today because they have the stories from the ground up as to what's happening with our construction work, and they also bring some very good news to us in terms of what is essentially ready to go when we turn to this jobs package. They have just completed surveys, and my understanding is they did this on their own because they saw this problem, and they had a sense that Congress would want to move forward, and they were right on that. I want you to know at this very time, right now, there's a press conference over on the House side with James Oberstar and David Obey dealing with the same subject. So they completed these surveys in December, and they're identifying where there are highway and transit projects that are ready to go, where investments can start creating jobs quickly. And I'm going to call on them to go through their work with you. But this is a very simple, this is the AASHTO project. They surveyed all 50 states plus the District of Columbia, and I'll let them explain what they came up with. And then they also surveyed transit, rail, port, aviation, intermodal, but they didn't get to all the states. But I'm sure that there's more to be reported on there. They're releasing the results of their survey of ready-to-go transportation projects from across the country. We know these projects are job creators. The Department of Transportation estimates that every $1 billion of federal funding invested in transportation and matched by state and local funds supports 34,700 U.S. jobs, so rounding it out. $1 billion equals 35,000 U.S. jobs. And jobs that's where we need to concentrate on this economic recovery. Today I was at a hearing where Dr. Mark Zandi talked about this recession. And it was a panel that was led by Senator Dorgan to look at small business and their difficulty getting access to capital. Mark Zandi just pronounced it as simply as I am. He said, "This recession is over." He said, "There's no doubt about it." But he also went on to say, the recovery is slow, job creation is slow, and we have to watch very carefully to make sure that this recovery picks up its pace. And this is one way we're going to pick it up. We're going to take up these immediate job creation efforts. I think as we do healthcare, you can see that's an economic issue because our small businesses can't afford the premiums that they have to pay. Individuals can't afford the premiums they have to pay. We need to do something about healthcare. First of all, in my view, it's a moral issue. It's also an economic issue. We need affordability. So taking up healthcare impacts our economy, and it will phase in over the next few years. Same way with the global warming legislation I'm so proud to support. This is a jobs creator. It's going to make America the leader in the creation of clean, green jobs and technologies. But it will be phased in over time. This effort is immediate job creation, and that's what we need to have right now. We have seen an 8% growth in unemployment in the construction trades between October '08 and October '09. 63% of transportation contractors reported they had to lay off permanent employees during '09 due to adverse business conditions, according to a survey conducted by Washington, D.C.-based Transportation Construction Coalition. According to a November 20th press release of the Association of General Contractors, quote, construction workers continue to suffer dramatic job losses as 40 states saw double-digit percentage declines in construction employment this October. This is another way of saying what I just said about the 8% increase in unemployment in construction. And they go on to say the industry accounted for a fifth of all job losses in the past year, even though construction only employs 1 out of 20 workers. So we are seeing a real problem in the construction trades. And that's why, as we put together our jobs package, infrastructure is the #1 priority. And that comes directly from Senator Durbin, whom I spoke with this morning. In a December 1st press release of the Association of General Contractors, Ken Simonson said, quote, highway and street construction got a big boost from the stimulus. Unfortunately, many of those projects are beginning to wind down. And that's why we need action soon. And that's why the work that AASHTO and others have done in doing this survey is such a public service to me and to all of us, because we want to work from reality. Reality-based work is what I like to do, not say, oh, wouldn't it be great to do infrastructure, and then you find out that there aren't any projects that have already gone through their environmental analysis, there aren't projects that have gotten all their approvals. These are projects that got their approvals that are ready to go in 120 days. Is that correct? Yeah, so there you go. AASHTO's survey shows that more than $47 billion of highway projects can be obligated within that 120 days. If the funding was available, the survey further estimates that another $19 billion could be obligated by states for other transportation projects, which include transit, rail, port, aviation, and intermodal. So we're moving along. I just wanted to say for my home state, I looked at some of these projects because I was doing a little spot check on AASHTO to just take a check on my own state, and I found that here's just a few of the projects that are ready to go. Doyle Drive Replacement Project, which is a very important safety project. If you've been to the Golden Gate Bridge, that's where you go right before you get on the bridge. Interstate 5 Truck Lanes Project in Los Angeles, Star Route 905 Phase 2 in San Diego, and US 50 Corridor Highway High Occupancy HOV Lanes Phase 2 in El Dorado. And that's just a glance at some of the projects. I would make just a couple of more points. According to the Texas Transportation Institute, we know that traffic congestion is a real drain on our economy. So what we do when we do infrastructure is we do projects that have to be done anyway. We do projects that are going to employ a lot of people, and at the end of the day, it really solves the air quality problem and the time loss problem.